Hey guys, Tepcocyclerepair. Today I'm putting a chain and sprockets on my Motogymkhana build. This is a 2006 GSXR 600. I got the crash bars that I've already built up. I got to clean them up and paint those. I'm going to do the chain and sprockets because I want to change the gearing. The stuff on here is not bad, but for Motogymkhana it's a little different. So what I'm doing here is I'm going with a JT sprocket, steel sprockets, the front and rear, and I'm changing the gearing to a 1545, and I got a new chain. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one off. Now, this already has a pressed on master link, so I'm going to grind it right here. And this link wasn't pressed on properly. You see that crack right there. So we're going to go ahead and grind this off right here, pull this off, because everything on here is good. The sprockets and chain, everything's good on here. So I'm just going to take this off and save it, just in case I need it for another build. The front sprocket, we're going to have to take everything off here. Now, it's not as difficult as it looks. Everything is pinned marked. See, we got a pin there, goes to the line there, and that'll give us plenty of play when we take this plate off right here to get to the sprocket behind it. We've got an 8mm, one there, one here. All right, so I'm going to take all those off, leave the sensor on here, and just pull this out of the way, and we'll have the front sprocket right there. But first off, we're going to go ahead and grind the rivet off. All right, so this star kind of nut that's on here is the sensor, so be careful with that. But this center nut's going to be Loctited on, so you may need, I'm using a breaker bar on here to get it loose. And then as soon as it breaks loose, you can spin it off. And the sensor is going to come off as well. All right, so coming off of there is we have our bolt and we have our sensor, okay? All right, so now to get the sprocket off, it has a larger nut on there that we're going to take off. So let me get a tool for that. All right, so it took a little bit to get off and impact, but it's off. I also got something in here holding the wheel so the wheel can't turn. You can also put your brake on. A couple different things. This is all protected back here, so that's good. So we're going to go ahead and continue to pull this off. It's about 83 foot-pounds, and Loctite is what that should be on there with, so that's why they're pretty hard to get off. And then we're just going to pull this front sprocket off. There's a washer behind it. Make sure that washer stays on there. All right, we're going to take our new sprocket. We're going to put our nut back on. We're going to make sure that we put a drop of blue Loctite on the threads. All right, so it's got to go to 83 foot-pounds. All right, then the speed sensor nut, there's no Loctite on that, 16 foot-pounds. All right, I'm going to leave that open for right now so we can get the chain back on. Time to pull the back wheel off. Wheels out. We're just going to go ahead and change this sprocket right here. Just going to take all these nuts off and throw the new one on. .44. I'm putting on the .45. And these are all 43.5 foot-pounds. While you're in here, the push drive is behind here. You don't have to take it out. Just make sure you don't have any rotational play. It should be just solid, okay? We're going to re-grease the axle, stick it back through, All right, this tab right here, it's very important that you get that into the groove. This one right here. Okay, it needs to go into that groove right there. Otherwise, it will rotate and it'll rip your brake line off. So let's get that into place. All right, so with everything back in place here, you should be able to take the wheel and slide it forward and back with no resistance and no issues. All right, so let's get the chain and master link on. All right, so with the chain just fed through there, it's loose now because I have it all the way forward. I have it set to the right length here. If you go on most sites when you're buying a chain, aftermarket chain, it'll tell you how many links there are. Be careful to double check it with the actual OEM size because sometimes they get it wrong. All right, so we got these are the 525 chains, master link with O-rings, and it comes with a little pack of grease. So we're going to just take this off, slide 2 O-rings on. All right, just like that. And I'm going to put some grease all over both these shafts here, the pins. All right, then we're going to slide it through. Gonna need my other hand. Gotta be just a little bit closer. There we go. All right, so we get them through there. Again, we got 2 more O-rings and then the outer plate right here. So we're gonna put the 2 O-rings on, a little bit more grease, 2 O-rings, and then the outer plate. All right, so when it comes to pressing, I like to use this arcade chain tool. This is a press fit master link, so don't be intimidated by it. Just have the right tools. This is one of the things that I felt it's worth spending the money on instead of a cheaper one. It's got a couple things in this that make it easy for you. It's got a press plate that I'm about to put on now for this 525 chain, and this will press the links as deep as they need to be. And then the next thing I'm going to do is move along to the actual pressing of the link, and there's tools and holders in there that make it so that it presses it exactly to where you need. All right, so let me get that done. All right, so putting this tool on, I have the plate inside of here. And you're just going to put it on and make sure that there's nothing in the bottom part here. Just going to take it, put it on, make sure that we're lined up inside the link. It kind of centers itself. That plate fits right onto the link, so I know that I'm there. I'm going to tighten this on until it gets snug. You're not going to over tighten it. That's going to press the plate into where we need. When it gets tight, we're just going to take it out and give it a look. All right, you see we're pressed right now. If you have a caliper, if you want to check the distance between the width of these plates and these plates, that's a good idea to do that. All right, guys, so when you're pressing the master link in, or you're pressing the pin, it's got to flare out. All right, so you're using the base piece. It's just kind of has a little cutout in it there, so it holds the back of the pin. That's important. You don't want to just push the pin back through. And for this 525 chain, I'm using the FP 500 JP, and that's got a little dimple in it. See that? And what that does is it spreads the pin out. It'll spread the pin out until it hits the edges, and then it'll get stiff again, just like when we first pressed the plate on. You'll feel it kind of pushing in, and then it'll get tight. Guys, when it comes to chains, it's extremely important that you get them on right. This is not something you want to take a chance on. You don't want a chain flying off when you're rolling at high speeds. It's very dangerous. It can whip around and hit you. Make sure that you get the proper tool or bring it to somebody that can press that link in. And I'm going to put a link in the description for this. I think it's one of the things that's worth purchasing. And there's the second plate. So when you tighten this on, you'll feel it kind of get soft, and then it'll firm up. It's not a whole lot. I mean, as far as travel for the wrench, it's probably, you know, about this much is about all it needs. So let's get this one off. You could always take your caliper if you're curious and measure it and just compare the two. Make sure you've crushed them the same. 5.31, 5.24. So yeah, we're right about the same right there. What you want to do from this point is spin the chain. Make sure that it doesn't bind up. Everything looks good. Running it through the front sprocket. Bring it around the bottom. Move it around. Make sure it's not binding. Everything looks good. So let's get the chain tightened back up and get the axle snug. All right, so when I get the chain adjusted to where I want, I'm going to take a rag. I just stick a rag between the chain and the sprocket. Rotate the wheel. That helps pull it all forward against your stops. Tighten it up. There's a pin that goes into your cotter pin. Make sure you get it lined up with that. Use a new cotter pin. All right, new cotter pin. All right, put the front back on. All right, so putting the front back on is pretty simple. Make sure that your push rod, your clutch push rod, is sitting in there. And that's going to, when you put it back together again, you may have a little bit of pressure from your clutch. You shouldn't, because the cable's not attached up top. So let's get this line back up again. Work that cable back through. I'm just reaching for the cable. Pull the cable back on the other side. There we go. Line back up again. Now we're going to drop our bolts back in. These are very light. It's like 7 foot-pounds, so if you use a T-handle and just get them snug and just a hair more, you don't want to really jam them on there because it'll cause damage. You just strip them. If you're going to use a torque wrench, use an inch-pound torque wrench. Then our shifter, we're going to put that back on. Remember, there's that pin. You just want to put the little punch mark in line with the opening. Just going to tighten this up top. All right, so with that tightened up, we're going to go back up top and reattach the clutch cable. All right, clutch cable back up. Everything working good. And that's all there is to it, guys. Chain and sprocket ready to go. I'll get this bike down. I'm waiting on these crash bars. Stay tuned to my channel so you can see what I'm doing with this bike. Hopefully this helps you out. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications, guys. And until next time, this is Tepcocyclerepair. And tell me what you think about this gold chain. I think it looks good against the black.